I want to talk to you about one of the things that can really add to stress in life, and that's the feeling of being overwhelmed. And oftentimes, we feel overwhelmed when we face something that's really big, that seems to be bigger than what we can deal with or that we can handle. And sometimes that's simply life presenting us with big things. But other times, unknowingly, we overwhelm ourselves, although we have good intentions. It may be a little more than we can handle. Let me give you some examples. When we talk about making changes in our lives, whether it's your personal life, your professional life, with your family or your friends, or with your health, whatever it may be, sometimes we get so excited about making a change that we decide to really jump into it full force and try to achieve too much all at once. And I understand that there are some of you out there who really enjoy that way of doing things and it works for you, and that's great. But if you're not one of those people, if you become overwhelmed when you face too much too quickly, then this is the episode for you. I'm suggesting not doing this to yourself, because you're really doing that to yourself when you are proposing to make big changes or to take big steps all at once too quickly and it overwhelms you. Instead, you can focus on baby steps, whatever it is that you're doing. So let's say you decide to learn a new language. Well, instead of saying or deciding that you're going to be fluent in a language in 3 months, which I'm not saying that you couldn't be, but if that overwhelms you, then why not give yourself 6 months or a year? That would be so much better. And then be consistent in your efforts to achieve whatever change or whatever goal that you want to achieve. Baby steps can be such a wonderful alternative to a more stressful approach of jumping in with both feet at the deep end without much preparation or without allowing yourself to have a break at what you're doing, especially when it's new and big and maybe overwhelming. Since the videos that I present in this YouTube channel focus on stress management, taking care of how you approach things, whether it's change or learning or whatever it is that we're talking about, this is applicable across the board throughout so many things in life. If you're stressing yourself out by overwhelming yourself, then one of the things you could do is ease up on yourself and choose to take baby steps instead of huge leaps. Now, I already mentioned that there are some people who really thrive on taking huge leaps and they're not interested in baby steps. And that's great. If it works for you, that's fine. But just as there are some people who really benefit from baby steps over huge leaps, no matter what they're talking about, no matter what their goal or endeavor, there are some people out there who can do some baby steps and that works best. But in other areas in life, they can do the big leaps and they do just fine with that. So you have to know yourself. You have to know when is it appropriate for you to slow down and take baby steps so that you don't overwhelm yourself and as a result bring more stress into your life. And when is it okay for you to jump both feet in and go full force and conquer whatever you want to conquer? If sometimes you can do that and other times you prefer baby steps, that's fine too. There's no right or wrong. There is no right formula or right way of doing it or a wrong way of doing it. It's whatever works for you. But the takeaway is do whichever combination or whichever formula works for you that is helpful to you. Remember, we're all about effective stress management. So why add to your stress by bringing overwhelm into your life when you could instead focus on baby steps when such an approach would benefit you and make it more feasible for you to achieve your goal or take that journey that you want to take without overwhelming you, without adding to your stress. And that in itself, this approach, a tailored, customized approach, is yet another tool in your toolbox. This is one of the reasons why I want you to have as many tools in that proverbial toolbox when it comes to stress management as possible. Because when you do have a wide variety of tools, whether it's for stress management or something that's actual tools in an actual toolbox, the more options you have, the better, because you can choose one that works best for you for the specific time, day, situation, whatever the case may be. And this is just another tool that you can utilize to effectively manage your stress. So think about how you approach things and what would be best for you. Do you benefit from jumping both feet in and you're fine with that? Do you do better if you slow down and take baby steps, small bites, and you still get to the end point, you still get to your goal? Or are you someone who could do both depending on the situation? And it's a matter of identifying which approach is better for what situation. Whatever the case may be, it's something to give some thought, think about it, figure out what works best for you. And, if you go ahead and do give it some thought, you may find out that the approach you've been using isn't the right approach for you. Or you may find out that you don't have to stick with one approach to everything. This is why it's so important to examine your life and the way that you do things to make sure that what you're doing is working for you and is benefiting you and is not causing you more unnecessary stress. So remember, baby steps are perfectly fine. Whether you take that approach as an approach to pretty much everything or as a sometimes approach, whatever works for you. Remember, baby steps over leaps can make the difference, can be a lifesaver when it comes to overwhelming yourself and stressing yourself out or not. If you'd like to learn more about a comprehensive approach to stress management, check out the link below.